Welcome. Gonna make some chicken enchiladas tonight, and I'm gonna make it with some green tomatillo sauce. So I got poblano chilies, Anaheim chilies, tomatillos, jalapeños, and an onion. So what I do is I take and dice the jalapeños, and I'll chop the onion down, and I'll sweat it in some olive oil and garlic, and then I'll roast these and take off the skin on these peppers and dice it at the end, blend it all together. It's pretty delicious. Put it on the chicken enchiladas. So let's get started. So first of all, I am going to roast all of this. So the tomatillos plus the peppers. So they just go in about 5-10 minutes on each side so they get good in brown/black. Not the tomatillos, but the peppers. You flip them over and then I'll show you how to skin the peppers. So the pan, I've got rough chopped both the jalapenos and onions. And I've kind of rough chopped the garlic too. You're gonna put a good amount of salt and pepper in here to start with. Sweat this down just a little bit. Again, this stuff is gonna end up going in the blender. So I don't have to chop it too precise, but get it sweat down and then we'll put it in the blender here in a minute. Okay, so one of these sides is done, so just flip this over. It's been about 5-10 minutes. Just flip all these over and put it back in the broiler. You're gonna wanna really get a good char on these peppers because it's easier to take that outer skin off. So just flip these around, get them toasted on both sides. It makes it a lot easier to break down in the blender. All right, flip them over, and here's what they look like as they come out. Kind of an important step here is get them on and in some type of bowl. And then, like I said, one of the most important steps is getting this covered. So I just put a little wrap over the top of this and let the steam help take the skin off. So you do that, leave this in there maybe, boy, good 5 minutes, maybe 10, and we'll show you how it comes off. Okay, we're gonna just skin these now that they've been sitting there for a good 5-10 minutes, maybe more. You can see that just comes right off after you then. That's why don't worry about burning it or char it. It actually, if you can't overcook it, you got to be careful. But the more you char it, the easier this gets. So, boom, chili's done. So we have the chilies now that have been skinned and seeded. Make sure you seed it, and I usually just run water over it. Get those seeds out, get all that done, and then what I'll do is kind of do, again, a rough chop here of these, of both of them. I'll maybe set a little bit aside to finely dice and put in a little later after that doesn't get in the blender. So I set aside a little bit here like that. So I'll come back and finely dice that. I'm gonna come over here and I have the tomatillos in there as well as the jalapenos and onion mixture. So just get that in there. And I'll throw the blender on here in a sec. I'll show what it looks like. In order to blend this pretty good, what I will do is I'll put a little bit of chicken broth in there as well. That kind of helps blend this thing. All right, this is after it's been blended a while. You can see how beautiful that looks. So what I'll do, once I get it in the pan, I'll start cooking it, and I'll put about a cup of chicken broth in there as well. So just put it back in the pot, a little chicken broth in there, and then just cook it for a little while, and you have tomatillo enchilada sauce. Okay, so after I blended it and I cooked it in here, this is what it looks like, the sauce looks like with the little chicken broth. So what I'll do is I'll take a little bit of this, just pour this goodness over the chicken. Then I'll come over here, put a little cheese on there. And I'll throw that bad boy in the oven. So these plates can get pretty hot. So I put each one of those in the oven individually. We have the finished product. You can, if you zoom in here, look at this melty cheese. That's why we do individual plates. It's so delicious. Tomatillo sauce baked into tortillas. Let me take a little bite. First bite. Fantastic. A little margarita with it. Cheers.